Now at the moment it doesn't seem too bad going down the gears, but that's because I'm not hard on the brakes or really pushing it. But then for all we know, elongating the gears could perhaps help with some of these moments over the bumps. We won't know until we try. But again, it's another car that on the base setup just gives you no confidence of getting on the power, especially when you're on a little kink and the rear end tries kicking out. Okay, I am going to try and go hard on the brakes up here. Getting on the grass didn't help. Oh, trying to put the power down, and just the rear can't take it. It doesn't like it either if you go down a couple of gears quickly. It seems to unbalance the car. So I think for this car, the best sort of way to deal with the braking zones may be to make sure that it completes a downshift before you go for another one. Interesting thing as well, on my wheel, the steering is very, very light in this car. There's not much sense of force feedback. I mean, it's light, but I can feel when the car's trying to kick on me, so I can react to it. But I am surprised its steering is as light as it is. I mean, I could change that within the feedback settings for the car and make it much firmer. Whoa! Fifth gear and it's just sliding out. I mean, you wouldn't expect that big kick there or that one. I mean, okay, this is a classic F1 car, but you would not expect that. Surprisingly though, on the brakes, this doesn't feel too bad. It's getting the power down. Now, if you're on a pad, it may be easier to drive around that problem, but for me at the moment it's a case of being very, very cautious on the throttle pedal. I think what helps in the braking zone with this car at the moment is, for me, trying to go down 2 gears very, very quickly isn't working too well, which is meaning I'm not going too aggressive on the brake pedal. It's going to kick again here if I'm not careful. Every time there, every time. Oh. Okay, so we've seen that actually it's not too bad under braking, but I've not really been able to push it too hard because of the way the downshifts are working. So in this car, the bigger problem is traction. Now obviously I could solve that straight away by just banging traction control on. And Two Dogs sound like a T500 RS. It's the Lotus 72D. So there we go. Yeah, so I could solve the traction by turning traction control on. I don't want to do that. Looking at the aerodynamics, I could put some rear downforce on, but I don't really want to do that at the moment either. excuse me, we could look at doing the camber angles, but again, I don't want to go into the mechanical setups just yet, because I'm looking at this as if I have no idea what any of that lot does, as if someone new came along and says, right, okay, this car's handling like crap, how can I solve it without putting the assists on? So let's go to the gears. Oh, my wheel, no. No, it's the T300. But yeah, it will sound like a T500. Okay, so in the gears, I'm going to move this. Interesting, it's not as precise as it is in the Formula A. Not surprising, it's an older car. Now, if we go too far with this, it makes the gears way too long. But way too long in these gears, in this car, may not be that bad. I tell you what, I'm going to do it the other way round. Looking at fifth, go down to fourth, try and sort of level third, second and first down. Now we may find that this is we've moved these gears way too much. If that's the case, it's not a problem. In the Formula A, I don't adjust it as much as this, but the question is this going to solve the traction without putting the assists on? We're about to find out. It's possible the gear will be too long and it won't rev at all. If that's the case, we'll just jump back to the pits and reduce it a little bit. But let's see if that has helped at all. Now again, it's going to take a lap or two to get the tyres up to temperature. Let's test what first I got up to and second. Obviously it is going to slide about a lot with these cold tyres, and for all I know this might not solve the traction, but it'd be interesting to see if it has. I mean, it solved the braking in the Formula A. I mean, from initial driving out of the pits, I'd say it's still a bit slidey, but car tyres are cold. But at the moment, it's controllable. I do feel already like I've been able to put the power down a little more than I was a lap or two ago. The tyres are now up to temperature. I mean, I'd still expect it to get a bit twitchy down here. It's the nature of the corner. Oh, that's a corner cut. Braked a little too soon there. I don't mind that. We've already established that actually on the brakes this car isn't too bad. And okay, it's still a little slidey on the rear end, but so far fairly controllable. We may even be able to really push it and have some fun. I mean, I know you can't see it on this particular view, but I am able to apply much more throttle. Now, some of these sideways moments we are going to have anyway because of the nature of the car, but that's one of those things that with the assists, with anti-spin mechanism on, they would be much smaller moments. So first and second, I'm absolutely nailed the throttle, and I couldn't do that before. Careful over the crest. So although the car is still a bit twitchy, I can definitely get the power down. I mean, I am flat out. I'm actually tempted to take the gear change off, redo a few laps with the telemetry skewing up, so that you can see throttle usage and brake usage. Oi, come back. So in cornering it's still a bit twitchy, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I mean the throttle input and brake input, or at least throttle input, would be very, very different with the base gears compared to what I am running at the moment. Now for anyone that's just joined the feed or the live stream, I'm not going for lap times here. My whole stream has been about looking at solving the Formula A's horrible handling, under braking, trying to get it down into second gear and spinning out. I feel that I may have solved it. I've now moved on to different cars. I'm in a Lotus 72D. Now under the brakes this car is not too bad at all, but traction is the issue on this one. So I'm seeing if the same thing that I've done with the Formula A's works here. And at the moment I'd say it's definitely made an improvement. Now if I was to play about with the rest of the setup, it'll probably get the car handling very, very nicely. One of the things you may notice on this particular part of the circuit, I was about to say I haven't done that yet. Bloody hell. Right, let's jump back to the pits because that will have damaged the car. I've got a couple of more messages. Let's see what they're saying. Is the patch out on the Xbox yet? I've no idea, to be honest. Master Blast, I have no interest in the Xbox at all. So if it needs a patch, I don't even know what it needs a patch for, I'm afraid. I'm running the game on PS4. I've never played it on Xbox. Let us know in the messages what the problem is on the Xbox that the patch is needed for, and I can let you know if there may be a similar problem that I've seen on the PS4 version. Now while we wait for you to send that message, I'll take a little break, roll myself a smoke. Not that I would recommend smoking, it's not good for you. But it is interesting though that with I mean all I have done is lengthen the gears, first, second, third, and it did help with the traction, definitely. I mean the car was still sliding, but it's an old classic car. Bug sounds. Oh, okay, so that's not something I've known or seen on the PS4. I don't know if they'll be bringing anything out on the Xbox. What I'd perhaps suggest with that one is, if you're having a problem on the Xbox, check out the Project Cars forums. That's where you're going to get correct information. I mean, like I say, no worries, two dogs, have a good time. Lap time's not saving. You see, now that would really annoy me, unless I don't know whether people are getting confused with that one. What I have seen on the PS4 is, excuse me, is people being on track and saying my lap time's not counted in